Hello all over the world. My name is Renee, if you don't know that by now, and I am a wannabe interviewer. So who have we got up next? Ali McCormick, a developer, owner of a guest house in Bali. Well, 6 guest house actually, and a huge, massive 3-bedroom villa called the Monroe. Well, Ali's been through it all. She really has. How did I find her? Well, I found her on an Instagram page that I was following. My daughter actually put me onto it. She said, Mum, you'll love this content. Anyway, I looked at it with this woman. She's after my own heart. I need to talk to her. All right, what hasn't she been through? But she's solution-based, this woman. She's solution-based. Anyway, without further ado, let me introduce you to Ali McCormick, developer, owner of the Hepburn and the Monroe Villas in Seminyak, Bali. Over to you, Ali.
It's the biggest flex to just know that you will succeed. Everybody will succeed in whatever, as long as you don't give up.
Yeah, that flex, it is the biggest flex, isn't it?
It is, it's amazing.
It's self-belief.
Because it just means that you can actually achieve anything you decide to achieve.
Yeah. What was that little saying that you said?
Perfection, what did I say? Perfection is fruitless.
Yeah, you've got some great sayings.
It's true. Hey? You just you'll never achieve anything if you're looking for perfection. Yeah. Luckily, I'm not a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I never have been.
When do you decide, okay, I'm going to have an Airbnb? How did you look for it?
The day that I decided, the day after my birthday, I decided, let's see what's available in Bali. And I went for a drive around the island because I had to locate a beach that I thought was the best beach. And I didn't know anything. And while I was driving around the island, it was about a 6-hour drive or a 5-hour drive around the island. I ended up back in Seminyak, which is where I started. Yeah. We're deciding that was the place to be, and I'd spoken to about 3 or 4 agents on the drive around, messaging, phone calls, that sort of thing, multi-skilling my way around the island. And by the time I got back, I'd decided that Seminyak had the best beach and had the best occupancy rate and had the best bet at a rental. So then during that process was in touch with an agent who said, I've got a place that you might like. Do you want to come and have a look at it on Thursday? And I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. Can I come today? So I got back and then went and had a look at it, and the rest is history. And that was this place.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And if I hadn't I've learnt through life in business, you've got to go quick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If you sat on it,
somebody else would have bought it.
This place here, what is this one called?
This is the Monroe.
This is the Monroe, that's right.
And the villa.
How many bedrooms are in
3
here?
bedrooms.
3 bedrooms. So this is family, like real family stuff.
Yeah.
Have you actually started renting this one out?
Yes, this is one of the bigger footprints in this area. Yeah. Because this is prime real estate in Seminyak. Yeah. And most other places that you stay in Seminyak would be, there's no outside area, or it's tiny, you know, it's just the pool. Yeah. So this is great for bigger families and that sort of thing. Yeah. Or, you know, families that want to commune here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so we have had people reach out and say, we'll rent the Monroe, and we'll take 3 or 4 rooms as well.
Yeah.
And then they can all come in here and commune. So
from your idea to conception to looking for a property to getting guests in, what was your time frame?
Okay, so November 2023, I think I settled on this place. Yeah. And the week I settled on it, the neighbour from over the road came in to see me, and that's when I found that place. And so that was November 2023. The build started in April, and it went to market in November. So you could say about 10 or 11 months from signing to going to market. And then it went to market in November, and then it was pulled off market. Fix this, fix that, fix, you know, the water, it's rain everywhere, you know, on, off. And then finally it settled down in January.
Yeah.
And we started getting some good bookings in January.
So you lease, right? You lease it off the person.
So I bought this lease. A lot of people think they can buy in Bali, and that is just not right, and that's going to get them into all sorts of trouble, and I don't even want to go into it.
Yeah.
It's a lease.
Yes.
It's a long-term lease, and I bought a lease for 22 years, I think it was. And
that's a long lease.
The average lease is about 15 to 30.
Yeah.
So when you buy a leasehold on a property, that's when you work out whether it's worth it for the duration of the lease. So you've got to work out, okay, I'm going to sink $300,000 into this property. I'm going to get the money back, say in 4 years, and it's a 20-year lease, which means I get another 16 years to make free cash flow. That's not bad. You will do nothing if you don't take a leap of faith.
That's right.
It's true what they say, that the higher the risk, the higher the return. The returns are great in Bali, but the risk is real as well. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And you've had a little bit of risk, would you say?
Gosh.
I mean, you've had a few things happen. You have to gut some places by the looks of it.
Some of them you do. Yeah. You don't know what you're buying. Like the wiring was scary here when we had to. Some people may not change it, but we had to change it. I couldn't live with that. You know, so there were things happening outside where there were really big risks, and that is Bali. Yeah. So you've got to be careful of all that, and there's no liability issue here. It's just, you know.
That's right, yeah.
It's your conscience at play. We had a glass panel in the ceiling upstairs, the balcony that you walk out onto.
Oh, God.
There was a glass panel covered in concrete. Who would do that? Somebody did that. So we had to we found it just recently. We had to fix it. We had the sewage connected to the main sewage of Seminyak, and when the main sewage of Seminyak is full, all the toilets overflow in Seminyak that haven't got their own sewage system. So we dug our own sewage system.
Did you know that at the time?
No. I didn't know
so you had to learn that.
Yeah. There's things that are going to happen with anything you do. It's so unpredictable, you know what I mean? And you just got to jump in and have a go. And honestly, I cried 3 times, and and I thought, oh, is this ever going to change? You know, is this ever going to get better? It went from one bad thing to another.
What were those 3 times?
Oh, I can't remember details, but the last time I remember vividly, because I was sitting in front of the builders and I'd received a quote for something, and I had run out of money, and that was an end date for me. I said, I don't have any more money. Yeah. And so I've had to negotiate all the way through with the builders and that sort of thing to try and get this set up and to the stage where it's able to be rented out while I maybe have to, you know, continue to pay some things off or do some bits and pieces. But I mean, it's not the sort of deal that's written down anywhere. You know, you've really got to negotiate it as you go, and
exactly.
Hope that you're dealing with a really nice landlord, which I am, and probably not do this sort of thing unless you are dealing with a nice landlord. You know, like, and honestly, there were some nights where I was sleepless, where I thought, will he retract that? You know, is that actually going to happen? You know, or you know. But or can I trust this person? You know, and I can't go into too much detail because
of course,
that is really an awful thing to do. But you know, there were some nights where I was a little bit nervous. So, but I have a constitution that's ridiculously good and sturdy, and able to cope with these sort of things. Yeah, but it's not for everybody.
No. Oh my God, no.
It's really not for everybody. No. So all through February, we had actually the second half of February lots of bookings, but we pretty much price beat them all the way through. So February is a really quiet time. And we were never intending on selling for our standard price in February anyway. It was our introductory price.
Yeah.
We went cheaper than that, a lot cheaper. So a few days before or a day before, we dropped the price. And we pretty much booked out the second half of February by dropping the price to like as low as we thought break even might have been, just to get just to get reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And on the 20th of February, I think it was, we actually covered our $5,000 worth of costs that come out every month. So we were just celebrating that so bad.
Yeah. God, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, it's happening, isn't it?
So it takes the pressure off.
Yeah, it does,
you know?
yeah. You wouldn't even know you're pressured for me. You're just the least unpressured person I know.
Oh, thank you. But maybe it's on the inside. On the inside.
Yeah.
But it takes the pressure off and allows for us to then go, okay, things that we need to do, right?
Yeah. So you're happy with where you are now?
So I feel like we're just about to fly.
Yeah.
Just about to take off because the
How
bookings
cool
have
is
started
that?
bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
And last night I did a post on it, because I do a post on pretty much everything that's in there at the moment.
Yeah.
Last night it was when I really was sitting down for dinner thinking to myself, I got there.
Yeah.
I got there because there were so many instances where I wasn't sure I would, and tick.
And it hasn't been a huge amount of time.
No.
Really? I mean,
No.
it would have felt like a long time.
Yeah.
And there was long,
And
there would have been
stress
pauses
and-
where you had stress and all that. Like, is this really going to work? And everything like
there
that.
were a lot of those
But,
nights.
yeah.
But last night was the first night I sat back and went,
Yeah. But that's what's going to make you, that's why you'll stay in the game. That's why it'll work for you, because you just don't give up. And that's why your Instagram is going to, get bigger and bigger,
And
because
that's what
we want that authentic content.
that's what we talked about though, that most things succeed if you're consistent, if you
That's
just
right.
don't give up.
Consistency wins out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You know what? It's for people that are good at solving problems.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that understand the end result.
Yeah.
The end result is worth, finding.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you are a solution-based person. Like, it's just like, okay, well, I've got no money. Okay, what am I going to do? I need to find a solution for this. So I've got to start negotiating, and I've got to, do all those things. Not everyone can do that either. There's a lot of skill involved in what you're doing.
When in business, also, you're in business, you're in another country, you're having to manage the language.
Yeah.
But you're also having to manage what is an incredibly unique culture.
Yeah.
So if you expect them to be available when you need them available,
not
when
gonna
they
happen,
would be available in Australia, you're not understanding how important their religious culture is to them.
Yeah.
And you'll fall out of favour pretty quickly. So there are lots of things to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you're at the other end now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're through the other side of
so
everything that you've done.
Like hallelujah.
I want to talk about your Instagram page. When did you decide that, like, you know what, God damn it, I'm going to Instagram this?
How interesting is that?
Yeah.
I don't know I have no idea what I was thinking. But I guess what I did was honestly, I settled the purchase of the Hepburn in around about January. And I thought, I wonder if anybody would be interested in following it. And I said to my daughter, I'm going to set up a Facebook page and see if anybody's interested in following it. And she looked at me like I was crazy and she said, Mum, you've got to set up an Instagram page. I think that I can compete against my children now when it comes to Instagram. I think in some ways I know more than
You'll
them.
be doing one of those offside gigs, like you'll be an Instagrammer that shows other Instagrammers how to get going.
Yes,
and then you'll be like, take my course.
I can't believe take my course. Here's an ebook.
People do that.
No,
like,
I know, but
literally.
I never want to do that. But I thought about doing a book, like an intro book showing people how to set up in Bali. I know it's a brave dream, and I don't expect 10,500 people to buy in Bali. But what inspires me is that if I inspire somebody that maybe is a, single mum or a, newly separated woman or something like that, reach for the next stage, I think that's what inspires me to keep going.
Yeah.
And it could just be to buy an ETF.
Yeah.
You know, in Vanguard, you know, super fund or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
It could be something simple like that, you know.
Yeah.
And they will specialise in learning everything they need to know about that and then doing it themselves. If I can inspire somebody to just take the next step, that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. God, I love the space that you've taken up and doing things like that.
Thank you.
And you wouldn't be the person you are if you didn't genuinely care about other people.
In my mid-50s, I'm really just inspired to, you know, sort of reach out and pull people up with me, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I try and do every time I
that
post.
absolutely comes across on your page.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad.
It really does. And that's why people are watching you, you know. And I think you're doing everything right on there too. Like you'll say, look, what do you think? I've seen you say, you know, like, do you like this one? Do you like this one? What do you think? And you will get a lot of comments in there. And you do listen to them and stuff. It's great.
It was crazy because I had so many moments where my manager, Ocker, is saying to me, Ali, you have to give me a decision about stone basins or coloured curtains
or the flowers on the tiles.
Just all sorts of things, right? And the first time I did that, I was frozen by that and I had 20 other things I was trying to do. And I looked at Ocker and I said, I cannot think of what the answer to that question is. I don't know what people like.
Yeah.
And then Ocker, I'm sure, said to me, maybe check with the followers. And I went, it's amazing. I'd sort of forgotten I had this major resource, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually some of them, like I'm not very creative. Some of them are like interior designers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it blew my mind when I tried that and it worked so well.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have to think about making a decision on something. I could just go, okay, A, B,
what
B,
was the
B,
last
B,
one
B.
I seen? The kettles.
The kettles.
The kettles in the room. And look at the response to that. You were thinking, nah, we've got enough going on here. But boy, didn't they tell you.
I didn't think I needed a kettle.
I was straight away like, oh, Ellie, you need a kettle. And then I was like, I'm coming over to Australia. I wonder if she wants me to pop down to Kmart and just get 5 of them in there.
I didn't think I needed a kettle. And everybody told me I needed a kettle. It was amazing.
know.
Yeah. So that is really... It's been good for attention. Not that I care, by the way, Lorena.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But like, you know, maybe every 1,000 followers I get, maybe a couple will book, and that'd be good. So, you know, it does help a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, I've had lots of bookings from followers, to be honest.
I was just going to say that. How are you tracking that?
Well, I can tell. I can tell, but because they usually reach out through.
Yeah. But do you write it down or something?
Yes,
so
I do.
Then you can track it?
I've got it in my Logify platform, my management platform, and I always put where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And generally an Airbnb or a booking.com person will just book, bing, they'll book.
Yeah.
And generally a follower will reach out.
Yeah.
And they'll ask for a quote.
Yeah.
And, you know, it'll come through direct booking.
Which is the best way to come through that,
it's amazing. It's been amazing.
You know, booking.com takes quite a...
big chunk.
Yeah, a big chunk out of it.
16%.
Airbnb is a little bit cheaper. So like when you use the booking system and you get it wrong, and somebody gets a really cheap holiday, or, you know, like, I do see that you wrote, so and I think that's when I reached out to you. It was just like, oh no. And anybody that doesn't, you know, like somebody with a conscience, anybody with a good conscience would just say, look, don't worry, I know that's wrong. What is the real price? That to me, that would be me.
That's never happened to me, but that's okay.
But so you would do that, wouldn't you?
I would, but I'm embarrassed to say what I've sold the rooms for. I'm not going to tell you.
No, don't. No, but do you know what?
It's so embarrassing.
As far as I'm concerned, a person with a heart and a conscience wouldn't allow that.
Yeah. So we just, I mean, it was fine, right?
Yeah.
They were my lessons. They were the cost of my lessons.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
And
I hear that one too.
I think that...
Own it.
I think I've learned all those lessons now, and that's part of the reason why we're on our way. Since I've been here 3 days, I've probably had a half a dozen bookings.
Oh, wow.
Like it just, every time we get a booking, it goes bing.
Yeah.
Like a cash register.
Yeah.
Ching.
Yeah.
And I've had, that's just happened like half a dozen times so we're getting sort of 2 a day now. And it has to happen at some stage because it's got to fill up.
Yeah.
And then it's got to,
yeah,
you know, after it fills up the first time, then it's just a snowball effect, you know.
And then you'll start getting repeat customers.
That's right. Yeah.
And, you know,
then they'll reach out.
Yeah,
direct.
that's right. And they'll tell people, and it's a word of mouth. And
but you know what? It's been financially, it's been a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Like down to our last so many dollars tricky in the bank account. Seriously.
What is your husband's part and role in all of this?
He's completely uninvolved. He was basically enabled. He basically enabled me to do it. I said to him, "This could go very wrong."
Yeah.
And he sort of said, "You've always wanted to do it." The worst, as a worst case scenario, this was this place though.
Yeah.
We have a place in Bali that we can go to.
Yeah.
Life is short. Have a go.
Oh man, hey woman, we all need a husband like that, don't we?
But
a partner like
he's
that.
known me for a long time.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So I do. He knows. I think he knows that he can back my decisions.
Yeah,
now, by now.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Isn't
most
it?
of the time they go okay.
Yeah.
So,
and your kids, do they sit there and look at you like, here she goes again?
I think I really get a lot out of them.
Yeah.
You know, like.
We got an Instagram account.
No, I know, and it's bigger than theirs now. But it takes a lot to impress my boys. I don't know what I've got to do to impress them. They were pretty impressed when one of the posts that I posted went viral. They were pretty impressed with that. So,
what is a viral post? That's going to be interesting.
So it's up to 6.5 million.
Oh, what?
All over Instagram. So
how many followers have you got now?
I've got about 10,400 or something
wow,
like that.
that is so cool.
You know what? I got over 10,000, or I hit the 10,000 mark the day I was diagnosed with recurrence cancer.
We haven't even talked about that because I didn't want to bring that up. I don't want to bring anything up that, you know. But you have had, so you have had cancer before.
Yeah, I have had breast cancer before. I've had a double mastectomy, and then I got diagnosed with a thing called Paget's. Yeah, so I'm on that journey. So thank goodness this is sort of settling down.
Yeah.
You know,
what do you have to do?
I've got an operation on the 11th of March. So
March?
Yeah. What are we in now? Yeah, March, next week. Yeah, in a hospital in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of it, but it's a lady that's looking after me is a professor of oncology, so she's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that, and then radiation treatment a month later. And after that, they will have analysed, chopped up the skin or whatever, analysed it, and they'll let me know if anything else is needed. Probably not, maybe not, but whatever, we'll deal with that.
How are you feeling? Like, you know,
fine. Yeah,
you're dealing with
fine,
it.
yeah.
You said you're going to go all in health, and you're doing weights.
Yeah. I've been doing weights for a while.
Yeah, well,
very inspired by other people, like you say.
Yeah, same.
Very inspired by a couple of cancer scares.
Yeah.
And inspired to do that 30 years that you're talking about with full fitness and full health and strong and not losing balance. Like, I think, you know, there's different ways you can do that 30 years.
Ali, thank you so much. Like, for one thing, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I feel very special that you interviewed me, Marina.
Talk about a woman raising another woman up. This is just, you know, like, I don't know, it just about makes me want to cry. I just feel so, you know, humbled by it. I really do. It's just...
Thank you.
There's nothing like women that...
It's amazing.
Lift other women up.
It's amazing.
You know?
I just got...
And thank you so much. Okay, Ali.
You can interview me again when I reveal my secret.
Oh, the secret.
Yeah.
It's like the secret.
My next secret.
Oh my God, that'll be so cool. I will. That'll give me an opportunity to come back to Bali again.
Exactly.